The rundown of maladies mankind has figured out how to vanquish is great. Polio, typhoid, measles, lockjaw, yellow fever, smallpox, diphtheria and chickenpox have been totally wiped out in numerous pieces of the world. Immunizations and amazing medications have permitted our species to retaliate against the microscopic organisms, parasites and infections that take steps to slaughter us. Yet, since forever, people have experienced a condition that they have always been unable to get away: maturing. As we get more seasoned, our cells quit filling in too and can separate, prompting conditions like malignant growth, coronary illness, joint inflammation and Alzheimer's infection. Together, maturing-related ailments are liable for 100,000 passings for every day, and billions are spent far and wide attempting to slow their consistent walk on our bodies. A few scientists, be that as it may, accept we might be considering these conditions in the incorrect manner. They state we should begin regarding maturing itself as an ailment, one that can be forestalled and treated. Their expectations are established on late disclosures that propose organic maturing might be completely preventable and treatable. From a natural point of view, the body ages at various rates as per hereditary and ecological elements. Small blunders develop in our DNA and our cells start creating deficiencies that can gather into tissue harm. The degree of these progressions after some time can mean the distinction between a solid mature age or one spent housebound and harrowed by ceaseless sicknesses. The researchers who plan to do this sit on the edges of the standard clinical scene. Be that as it may, there are presently various research bases on the world that have focused on distinguishing methods of forestalling natural maturing. Studies in creatures have indicated that it is for sure conceivable to drastically expand the life expectancy of specific species, giving expectation that it could likewise be conceivable in people. One regular diabetes sedate, metformin, had the option to broaden the life expectancy of rodents. In the mid-1990s, Cynthia Kenyon, presently VP of Maturing Research at Calico Labs, the Google upheld against maturing research organization, exhibited that roundworms could live a month and a half rather than the common 3 just by changing a solitary letter of their hereditary code. In our Tomorrow's World webcast scene about maturing, one of the main figures in human lifespan examine, Aubrey de Grey, discloses to us how comparable increments in life expectancy could be accomplished in people. De Grey is the main science official at the Strategies for Engineered Negligible Senescence (SENS) Research Foundation, a California-based regenerative medication inquirer about establishment concentrated on expanding the solid human life expectancy. He discloses they will probably build up a setup of treatments for moderately aged and more seasoned individuals that will leave them truly and intellectually comparable to somebody younger than 30. Obviously, without cleaning their recollections, he includes. De Grey says they need to fix the things we don't care for about the progressions that occur between the age of 30 and the age of 70. There are 7 organic components De Grey contends are dominatingly liable for cell harm that goes with maturing and underlies maturing-related maladies. These remember when cells for a tissue are not recharged rapidly enough, when cells repeat wildly as happens in malignant growth, when cells don't kick the bucket when they should, which is another issue in disease, harm to the DNA of the minor force plants found in cells, known as mitochondria, the collection of waste items inside the phone, squander items that development outside cells, and the hardening of the cross-section structure outside of cells, called the extracellular grid, which permits tissues to stretch and twist. De Grey and his group at the Sense Research Foundation state they have recognized ways for every one of these issues to be combated with treatments they're creating. The fix for the primary issue of having too barely any cells is immature microorganism treatment, says De Grey. This furnishes tissue with a new gracefully of youthful cells to supplant those that kick the bucket during maturing. Different issues, for example, when cells don't kick the bucket when they should, may require progressively complex arrangements. On a fundamental level, we could utilize quality focusing to present self-destruction qualities, qualities which the cells will communicate that will make proteins that will just murder the cell, says De Grey. The stunt here, be that as it may, will build the qualities so that they will possibly communicate the deadly protein if the cell's development designs are accomplishing more terrible than great. De Grey doesn't imagine that it will be conceivable quit maturing by and large with these sorts of approaches, however they may give patients an additional 30 years or so of life. He imagines a future where revival advances can be controlled to elderly folks individuals so as to return their cells to what they resembled when they were in their childhood, getting them additional time. The thought is that somebody who is treated at 60 years old will be naturally returned to 30. But since the treatments are not lasting fixes, the cells will wind up turning out to be 60 years of age again in an additional 30 years' time. By then de Grey expectations the treatments could be reapplied as adaptation 2.0 to return similar people by and by to get more youthful in the cells. Therefore, that individual's cells wouldn't become 60 again until they're around 150 years of age. Be that as it may, there should be some alert when managing claims this way. There is no exploratory proof to show that our bodies would react to this kind of programming update. Much like PCs, with an excessive number of updates our bodies could come to a standstill. In any case, de Grey accepts this sort of reasoning. Something he calls the professional maturing stupor is keeping down the development of hostile to maturing advancements. The issue, he says, is that we socially acknowledge maturing as unavoidable, thus endeavors to end the harm it causes are frequently excused as quack science. Furthermore, he isn't the only one in thinking maturing-related ailments can be comprehended. George Church, a geneticist at Harvard Medical School, revealed to us that while a portion of his partners contend many age-related infections are intricate to the point that they basically can't be dealt with, he sees such deduction as mistaken. In the event that you can control both nature and the hereditary qualities, you can get individuals that live young sound lives for particularly any longer than others, says Church. In industrialized countries, a large portion of the infections are because old enough related illnesses, and I think those too can be dealt with. Among the noticeable ways to deal with expanding lifespan is a horrifying-sounding strategy that is normally known as vampire treatment. Dementia patients who were given transfusions of blood plasma from more youthful givers matured somewhere in the range of 18 and 30 years of age gave indications of progress in an ongoing preliminary. Patients with beginning-stage Alzheimer's illness recovered the capacity to wash or dress themselves, or to do different assignments, for example, housework. While this preliminary is as yet progressing, one US fire-up called Ambrosia is as of now offering more established clients the opportunity to get transfusions of blood from benefactors matured somewhere in the range of 16 and 25 years of age for $8,000 £5,985 per treatment. The organization says that these transfusions can help the presentation of more seasoned individuals' lazy cells, and furthermore claims to have improved the state of a beginning-stage Alzheimer's patient just as have turned the hair of a 60-something-year-old patient darker. Their examination, nonetheless, still can't seem to be distributed in any friend-investigated diaries and has been reprimanded for not representing the misleading impact. In any case, there are a few examinations in creatures that propose there might be a natural reason for the impacts these medications are having. In 2013, an investigation by scientists at the Harvard Stem Cell Institute indicated the muscle quality of mice could be improved by a development considered discovered youthful blood called GDF11, however the discoveries couldn't be recreated. BBC Future has recently investigated a portion of different methodologies in creatures that could prompt a more extended life. In the meantime, others express the way to lifespan is as straightforward as cutting the measure of calories you devour in a day. Be that as it may, shouldn't something be said about really restoring demise? There have for quite some time been recommendations to do this by cryogenically freezing an individual's mind or body following passing so they can be restored sometime in the future when innovation has progressed adequately. Various organizations significantly offer the open door for well-off customers to safeguard their bodies along these lines, such the Alcor Life Extension Foundation. Be that as it may, until this point in time, none of their customers have ever been revived from their frigid stockpiling units. Others, for example, Ray Kurzweil, scholar of the singularity and lead engineer at Google, have upheld mind transferring as an approach to accomplish, in any event, advanced, everlasting status. It's anything but difficult to conflate these stunning thoughts, which appear to be more situated in sci-fi than the real world, with the lab-based work de Grey and others in Lifespan Examine are doing. Be that as it may, paying little mind to how it is accomplished, broadening human life expectancies by decades or even many years will give us some troublesome social real factors. As BBC Future has investigated previously, there could be major cultural effects on the off chance that we as a whole beginning living longer. There are some that dread more prominent lifespan could prompt expanding populaces and raise questions that our planet could bolster such numbers. De Grey himself says he has regularly gotten some information about whether the advancements he is dealing with could be manhandled by rich despots to give them expanded life expectancies, while others ask whether we will basically be exhausted by lives that can be consistently broadened. He possesses little energy for such inquiries and accepts that different advancements, for example, counterfeit meat, desalination, sunlight-based vitality and different renewables, will expand the conveying limit of the planet, permitting more individuals to live longer lives. Be that as it may, this method of reasoning experiences a reliance on dubious techno-fixes that may not reduce enduring in a similarly dispersed way. However, on the off chance that worries like these had deadened the early pioneers of immunization and anti-infection agents, it is far-fetched a considerable lot of us today could hope to live much past the age of 40 years of age. Advances in medication in the course of the most recent 2 centuries have instructed us that we have the ability to overcome the maladies that harass us. Maybe on the off chance that we put forth a concentrated effort, at that point we can beat maturing as well.